We have new details this morning about whom and how often top officials are visiting President Trump's businesses. An astounding new report from the New York Times revealing some pretty big numbers. It says at least 90 members of Congress have been seen during 188 visits to a Trump property. That includes at least 26 Republican senators. 250 Trump administration officials have been seen making more than 630 visits, including 24 of the 32 people who've served in Trump's cabinet. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin alone has been spotted at a Trump business 21 times. And more than 100 officials from nearly 60 different foreign governments have also visited a Trump property since 2017. Let's bring in Bishop Garrison, co-founder of the Joseph Rainey Center for Public Policy, and Republican strategist Brian Darling, founder and president of Liberty Government Affairs. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
All right, Brian, are you surprised at all by these numbers and by how commonplace and how frequent this just seems to be?
Well, I've been to the Trump Hotel here in D.C. It's very nice, and I'm a little surprised by the numbers. Are very high, but it's a very nice hotel, so I understand why people would want to stay there. But I understand the argument, and I understand the whole emoluments, the idea that this is an emolument being given to the president. But if you take a step back and look at the big picture, I don't think this is an issue that's going to have much resonance with the American people, because the individuals that are going to be making the case are guys like Joe Biden, who's enriched himself off government service after he left the Obama administration, and a guy like Bernie Sanders, who's a self-avowed socialist who made $2.5 million off book deals while serving in government.
But possible corruption allegations here certainly would resonate with a lot of swing voters, I imagine, as this is definitely something that a lot of people on both sides of the aisle could potentially identify with. And I know that you think that this hotel is very nice here, but don't you also see, Brian, that there is a potential benefit of you going and visiting these properties, or do you not think that?
Well, he's in a unique situation. He's a businessman. We haven't had a businessman who had a hotel in Washington, D.C. As president of the United States.
Right, and that's why we're asking all of these questions.
He's not a businessman.
No, I hear you.
Can we please do away with the fiction that President Trump is a businessman?
Let's let Brian finish here real quick.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, I think the case will be made by Democrats that this is a corrupting influence on the government. But look, Donald Trump doesn't take a salary from the federal government. He's somebody who, set up that hotel in D.C. not knowing that he was going to be president. I don't think it's going to be an issue that matters that much. And ultimately, this is going to be litigated by the American people, not the courts, and they're going to make the decision.
Okay. So this will be litigated. So, Bishop, how do you think the American people are going to vote on all of this? Did they basically sign off on it, at least his supporters, when they voted him into office?
Absolutely not. Again, do away with the fiction that Donald Trump is some type of savvy businessman. He's not. He's a man that's been in bankruptcy on multiple occasions. The point Brian made about about Vice President Biden isn't a good one either, simply because it was after his public service. We're seeing a sitting president that basically has people paying tithings to him, that basically has foreign government officials, 110 from 60 different countries, that are actively giving him money that is going into his pocket. The fact that the president doesn't take a salary, why would he need one when he is making so much money off of these different properties that he owns? The vice president had to take a 2-hour trip in order to stay at a Trump hotel. And we are charging the military and we're charging our security forces every time they do this type of thing.
Bishop, I wonder, the president claims that he is actually losing money off of being president. Do you believe that?
I do. I find it hard to believe, but again, he is not a good businessman, so it's quite possible that he's continuing to lose money while he's having the government ensure that all of these different officials are staying at these hotels. Okay. We have a hotel around the corner from the White House in which the AG decided to spend $30,000 to host a holiday party there. It's absurd.
I want to get to that, actually, Brian. In the last 2 weeks, there have been 4 controversies around profiting from the presidency. You've got got the Politico report that Air Force crew stayed at a Trump Scottish resort. Days before that, Vice President Pence stayed at President Trump's resort in Ireland. President Trump is considering hosting the G7 at Doral, and Attorney General Bill Barr, as mentioned, booked his $30,000 holiday party at the president's D.C. hotel. I mean, the president is making claims that he's losing money while in office, as we've been talking about. But beyond that, for a second, what happened to just trying to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest here? Or do you think the president is just being transparent?
Well, I think in one sense he's being transparent, but again, you have to take a step back. Who is going to make the case against President Trump? It's not going to be Joe Biden, because he definitely did enrich himself off government service. He served as vice president, wrote books, made money off being in the administration.
But I didn't ask about Biden. I asked about President Trump, Brian. So could you answer that question?
Look, I think ultimately the American people will decide. Does it bother me as a voter that that government officials are using a Trump hotel and staying at Trump resorts? Not at all. It doesn't bother me at all.
Okay.
What about foreign
all right, guys, I'm so sorry. We are running out of time. I've been told I got to wrap this up. Bishop and Brian, thank you so much.
Thank you.